Who doesn't love pickleball? I know I do.
Perhaps a little bit too much.
And today I'm going to try and help you guys by hearing my story about how I went from a beginner about a year and a half ago to now being a 3-time sponsored collegiate pickleball player. So I've got this nice timeline set up. I'm not going to talk too in depth about like drilling and stuff, just kind of like the journey, how I got from point A to point B and where I'm at now, my goals for the future, and things I wish I knew at the beginning. And then at the end, we'll do a little bit of a duper reveal in case you guys want to guess over the course of this video and see my progression. So I grabbed a pickleball paddle for the first time probably in middle school. Didn't really pick it up again until after high school, where I played baseball, basketball, and tennis. I didn't get any formal lessons in tennis. That's obviously the big one for pickleball. I didn't play since I was young. I just played in high school for fun. But as you can see, I'm kind of nasty. So I officially started my pickleball journey in 2022 in August. I bought my first paddle, lovely Monarch. Still love this bad boy, the Dragon Slayer. And I signed up for intramural pickleball. A few weeks into school, I saw that there was club pickleball at the university. It wasn't officially a club sport yet, but I still started going to the practices, playing with better players. I actually got to play with people on the Duke men's tennis team. That's when I realized just hitting a dink, I thought everything was a dink. Into the kitchen wasn't good enough because these tennis players could hit winners off any ball. And that's when I kind of realized I want to be like these guys, I just wanted to be pretty good. So sometime in October, I bought my first good pickleball paddle. It was a Babble Out Monster. Don't have it anymore because I gave it to my brother. But then that was really it. Just kind of went to practice. I would say I was probably like a 3-5 player at best. I didn't know what resetting was. I knew that you could hit the ball hard and that you can dink from anywhere. 2023 though was definitely the year. Between January to May, I played more at club. I met my future partner who I started playing more with in August. Appreciation for my mom and the pickleball cup here. A big turning event though for me was that I applied for a pickleball teaching job for the summer, for like a summer camp. I ended up teaching adult lessons as well through the same camp, and the guy I taught with was a Selkirk advocate. And he gave me the idea to being a college student where I spent all my money on Diet Coke and to apply to some of these sponsorships. And I actually ended up getting sponsored by a local tennis and pickleball store. Shout out Tennistopia. And then about a month after that, Selkirk actually accepted my advocacy. I kind of forgot I even applied to them, but they sent me out a bunch of demo paddles, some of which didn't unfortunately survive, but others I still have and still use and lend out. Love Selkirk. I have a lot of clothes from them too, but I found someone new. And I played with his 006 in the Power Air for the next several months. Another big point on my sponsorship applications was that I was going to be the vice president of the pickleball club at Duke, and then I planned on obviously increasing my talent. This is when I was like, I kind of want to take things seriously. So August rolls around, I get back to school, immediately start drilling with the guy that I met the previous semester. And in September, we played in our first tournament. It was a 4.0 men's doubles tournament at NC State, and we actually got second place. We had some adversity, played some good teams. I definitely got carried. But still, second place in a 4-0 tournament, not bad. Then October, we had huge news. Duper had reached out to us for the Collegiate National Championships in November. And in the meantime, I played in a 3-5 mixed tournament, got first place, and I actually felt like I played reasonably well. And then I also played in a 4-5 men's tournament, and we kind of got handed to us. Except we did beat a couple of 4A players, which was huge for me. We also played at a collegiate event at UNC against UVA, UNC Charlotte. Won a couple of those matches, lost to the UVA team. Those guys are killers. Very good players, like 5+ players, right? And to the national championships we went. I, luckily enough, had one of the worst sicknesses of my life during the tournament. I have some clips of me struggling to breathe, but we had some really close matches. We were at 18-18 against the 6th seed in the whole tournament. These guys are like 5+ players again, and we didn't end up pulling that one out, but we did get some good wins. It was a really fun tournament. I met a bunch of cool people, and again, this was another big turning point for me where I was like, next year, I was a junior at this tournament. I got one more left. I want to pull through. January rolls around. We have an invite from a new duper competitor called NCPA. They have a national championship in March. We accept the invite, we keep drilling, we keep playing. In February, my partner and I win a 4.5 tournament. It was awesome. By this point, I felt confident with my strokes. I felt like I was controlling points more, thinking better. Overall though, felt like I was a lot better. Probably felt around definitely a 4.0 at this point, maybe higher. Did play in another tournament that didn't go particularly well. Sorry, partner. Played in an intercollegiate regional tournament, which isn't the same as a super regional for Duper, but they're all Duper matches. And we played reasonably well, had some fun wins. And then rolls around NCPA Nationals. It was the most fun experience I'd had at college. We played some very good teams, some of the top 20 players in the country we played against and had close matches against. One of our best wins was in mixed against Florida, who's a crazy talented team. That was super fun. But this is when we found Gearbox. Lots of Gearbox sponsors here. We didn't know Gearbox was actually from San Diego, and actually the Gearbox sponsor coordinator was at this tournament. Right after this tournament ends, I gave them a little call. I was like, hey, you guys, can we get some for free? And he's like, sure. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we get our top 4 players sponsored. We each get the somewhat controversial Power Pro. And then we had one more super regional tournament in Richmond. We got to the quarterfinals. And in the quarterfinals, we lost to the eventual winners, Clemson. Now, those guys, I thought I was done with bangers. You're never done with bangers. They just get better. They get fewer and far between, but they get better. So at this point, I've kind of not been saying the dates. We're in April of 2024, officially sponsored by Gearbox, playing with the paddles. And this is when I play in the last tournament of the year. It's a money ball. So we went from 4.0 at the beginning of the year to at the end of the year, skipping 4-5 at this tournament, just playing money ball against 5.0 plus players. We went 2-1 in pool play. We go to the semifinals against a mixed team, actually. The lady was probably a semi-pro or pro, and the guy was also a semi-pro. Both, I think like a 5-3 and 5-2. The first game's fairly close, and the second game, my partner just still bummed out about that. But in pool play, we'd also actually crushed a team of 5-2 guys. So that's where I am now. We're in May of 2024. I'm an official collegiate sponsored player. On the horizon, we have possibly the last tournament I'll ever play with my partner for college, the Duper Individual Championships. If we win that, we'll probably have an update video. Then there's some pro tournaments, the Body Armor Pro Open in Richmond. There's one in Charlotte. And the next year, we're looking ahead. We've got Duper Regionals, the National Championships can have 64 teams in Houston. But from what I've learned in these last less than a year of taking pickleball seriously, what I've learned has been consistency in not only your play, but who you play with. Find people who have like-minded goals at you. It doesn't matter if you're a 3.0 or a 5.0. If you can find a group of people that's talented, ideally 4, but if you can find one other person, that's fantastic because you can at least drill together, get really good at singles. But being able to play against top players is huge. Then it's just repping out the things that you need. Resets, drops. You need to get to the kitchen line. Offense is what you should work on definitely later on, because unless you're at a super high level, you're just going to be winning off of your opponents missing. That doesn't mean just hit dead balls all the time, but it doesn't mean you have to hit speed ups on the third ding. If you can get to the kitchen line, pressure your opponents a little bit, they might miss. But that also leads to probably the exception to this is that you need to have good hands. Because if you're pressuring their opponents, they're going to start speeding up at you. And if you don't have good hands, you're just going to get beat. If you don't have good hands at the kitchen line and your opponents seek that weakness out, you're going to lose. Why I say this is because I have terrible hands. That's something I've been really working on for a while. And the second I got that, despite the fact that I don't necessarily speed up all the time, I just dink well, get to the kitchen line, pressure your opponents a little bit, move the ball around. Even if you give them a bit of a high dink, if your hands are good enough to counter, you'll just win those points. And on top of winning the points where they're missing, then you're good. And also, if you have a signature shot like me, let's just say I'm known to some as the Lob God, the LG, then you can win a lot of points. Other advice, stretch so that you don't get hurt in the semifinals of a Moneyball tournament. Watch pro players. People have this weird idea where they say drilling is almost treated differently in pickleball than any other sport. I think it's because pickleball is so social or maybe so new and fun. But in basketball, obviously you don't become a 3-point specialist by playing rec games. You shoot 3-pointers. You're not going to become a dink specialist or a reset specialist. And these things everyone should be a specialist at. If you want to be good, you have to do these things. So I guess it's not like shooting 3, it's like dribbling the ball. But other than that, I'm definitely going to start posting more updates for pickleball, more skill-related videos, match play, if I can find it anywhere. But otherwise, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about sponsorships, need help studying for the ACT, writing your application to get sponsored by a company, reach out. I love helping people. But yes, I'm going to go pick up everything on the ground here.